Eduardo Pena. So today's movie, the movie that I'm going to talk to you about, isn't really, I guess, my favorite movie. Um, I haven't really seen a movie in a very long time because I have a 10-year-old kid and we watch kids' movies. So the movie is the Miles Morales movie, or actually it's Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. So it's about this kid, Miles Morales, and he's a super um, Marvel or Super Spider-Man fan. He follows Spider-Man around as Spider-Man, fights crime and does whatever Spider-Man does Spidey things. Um, Eventually, he becomes a Spider-Man. He gets bitten by a spider and sees Spider-Man die. Um, sorry, he gets bitten by the spider because his uncle takes him to this place, and then he goes back to that place, and that's where he sees Spider-Man die because he goes back to chase the spider. Um, so his uncle turns out to be a villain that goes by the name of the Prowler. So they're all at Aunt May's house. If you're familiar with Spider-Man, that's Spider-Man's aunt, but it's not really Miles Morales Spider-Man's aunt. It's the real Spider-Man's aunt, the one that passed away. And all the there's Spider-Man from different Spider-Verses there. So there's a big time warp, and Spider-Man come in from different dimensions. There is another regular Spider-Man that just is living a different life. There's a Spider-Woman. There's a Spider-Ham, which is like a cartoon Spider-Man. Well, they're all cartoons because it's animated, but he's more cartoony. There is a there is a Penny Parker, which is from the future, and she actually has a robot Spider-Man thing. And then my favorite one was Spider Noir. So all these guys come in because there's a bad guy who's like the big villain of the movie. His name is Kingpin, and he's doing some experiments to try to recover his family who died. So he's trying to pull the same family from a different universe or different dimension. And because of his experiments, all these different Spider-Man converge and come into Miles Morales' dimension. Eventually, they kind of help him develop who he is as a Spider-Man, and they all work together. They all have to get back to their own dimension, or else they're gonna like spaz out and die. So Miles ends up stepping up and becoming the Spider-Man that he was meant to be. He helps get them all back to where they're supposed to go. He defeats the Kingpin, and then he basically becomes a new Spider-Man of his own dimension. That was the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.